Welcome in to the MJ38 show, episode number 7. That's a good amount of episodes. I don't know how your day's going, but it's going amazing.
That's more episodes.
We're 7 deep. Let's go.
Big number.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We keep it moving.
Oh, can we get gas?
Hopefully you keep it moving too. Let's go. I need a fist pump out of you.
7.
I don't care if you're driving. I don't care if you're at the gym. I need a fist pump right now.
Give me one solid
Michael
pump
Jordan
with
fist pump.
that. Yeah. Not 3 yet. Not like a big, just
We didn't win the championship quite yet.
nice
But
bucket.
We got some buckets.
Nice bucket. Just, yeah. That's how I feel.
Fundamental bucket.
Yeah.
Yes. So number 7, welcome in. The waters are warm. Hopefully your day's going well. And if
Cristiano
not,
episode.
we're here for that always, you know.
Yeah.
You already know about it.
Yeah. I hope this is like a warm water for you. Like if
Yeah.
your day's not going great, or if it is going great and you want it to keep going great. I hope this is like a hot tub for your mind.
Yeah.
And it just feels fun to swim with us.
Just
And-
chill. Yes, come chill.
Yeah, come chill. The water's great. Hopefully. I think it's great.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Chill in this hot tub of our minds forever.
That's all we do.
Yeah. So when the cameras are rolling or not, it's always going on.
100%. That's
100% of the time.
definitely a part of this podcast is you can imagine us, like if you have an idea of who we are and like what we do in our day, it's this all the time. Like this isn't an act. Like this is, that's my favorite part about it. This is supernatural to us.
Yeah, 100%.
In a freaky way. No, I'm just kidding. In a very normal way because we just do this all the time.
Freaky way. But it's very normal, actually. We just talk.
Yeah, it's the best. I think that's why people like podcasts in general, because it's like we all do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it's like it's fun to watch like really informative people or really like influential or charismatic people or famous people just do that thing that we all do.
People.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about all the different kind of guests that Joe Rogan has on his podcast. And I was like, he kind of just goes through like friends, informative, culturally relevant, famous, kind of circles around.
Yeah, it's just like, what can you do with my attention? As far as like a person who is trying to have content or have media or have influence or have some sort of, I guess, like social prowess. It's like, okay, you give someone their attention. Okay, and now what are you going to do with it? It's like some people have like a painting for you to look at or like a song for you to listen to or a lecture or like information for you to
absorb.
To further your information or further your, I guess, knowledge in whatever skill or whatever trade or whatever field you want to go into.
What do we do?
I guess ideally trying to do a combination of things.
Yeah, because we can't really inform people. I mean, I can give you like street smarts that I put together, but I'm not like
We can read through some
educated.
headlines.
Yeah, true. I think that's what it's like.
another thing
Sports
for sure.
Center.
Yeah,
well, I think like the news is the news, and then we kind of like give our take on it. It's good. We don't ever give takes on the news though.
No, I don't know, kind of. Either way,
We're warm waters. It's just hang out with us.
Warm waters.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know. If we think too much about it,
yeah.
I start to lose the sound in my headphones and shit.
Because I guess people in the comedy stand-up comedy field, it's like you give this person your attention to make you laugh, and then it's like I guess it's kind of known with that.
Yeah, that is. I was just thinking about how it's funny that like podcasting is a big thing. Like not just outside of us, it's a big thing in our culture.
Huge.
It's huge. And I'm like, what's going on there that's so interesting that like it,
especially in the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah, or I guess only because podcasts are only like 15 or 16 years old.
Yeah, I guess we're right.
Yeah, but in the last like 5 years, it went from being like 100,000 people had a running podcast to during COVID, it was like 1 million people had a running podcast. Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then culturally, Joe Rogan would talk about like every comedian had a podcast, like, which is cool. Like, we're also one of those people as well, you know, on that list.
Present.
But I think hopefully we're like gifted at it in a way that it makes sense for us to do it. Like, we're not just doing it because everyone's doing it. Like, everyone has an Instagram. It's like, I think this is legitimately like worth doing. You know what I'm saying?
I truly enjoy this medium. This is like my favorite medium.
Yeah, it's fun, right? And we ball.
It's
I think, right?
ball.
Yeah, it's like we play basketball, but we podcast.
It's fun.
I think we're good.
That's fun. We're just exploring. We're just exploring thoughts.
Yeah.
Exploring life.
It's awesome.
Talking about sheesh. Man, how's your day going?
It's podcast day. It's the best.
It's always the best.
I'm just swimming in. It's too meta over here right now.
Swimming in my intro waters over here. I love my intro waters.
Podcasting day is the best. Yes. But I really enjoyed that. Other than that, I woke up today and I just felt good. I felt like I guess well rested because I just felt really good. I was like, wow, I feel so good. I was like, I guess because you don't have to have anything to do today. I'm well rested. There's no pressure. I just made it through a bunch of shit. Like I forgot just how good being still feels.
Yeah, very still.
Yeah.
Yeah, no obligations or like things pulling you.
Nothing.
Every which way.
And I was like done sleeping. I was like, yeah, I can't sleep anymore. Which was like a strange feeling to feel. It's like never, I usually just have to get out of bed.
Your battery's fully charged.
I was like, oh, wow, all right, I guess. And I just like called my dad and talked to my dad for an hour, which was super nice. And his health is like getting better every day, which is cool. Because it's like anytime you see someone having like a lot of like good things happen to them in a row.
Yeah, upward trajectory, incline.
Yeah. It's like fucking nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you can like hear it in their voice. Like they're just kind of, yeah, my dad. Anyways, like me and my dad both have kind of like really bad headaches sometimes, but I feel like he has them like way worse, way more often. But he said that they've been getting better. He's on like different medication for him, and it's like working well.
Let's go.
He's like, yeah, we've been talking for like an hour, and I feel like great. Usually, like my head hurts when I talk on the phone, which is how I feel when I have a migraine, which is like way less frequently than he does. But it's just cool to hear that, you know.
Hell yeah.
So my day's just all been like a lot of positive stuff.
I'm about that too.
Yeah.
I'm over here like, yeah.
Just getting gassed up for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. It's like good to hear. You love
keep
hearing
going that way. Go,
Yes.
go.
It's like someone's run the marathon and you're just like, whoa, keep running. It's fun to cheer someone on on their own race, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of people doing that in marathon. That's like super common because we ran the Hard Rock, not Hard Rock. Is it Hard Rock or whatever? Hard Rock Rock and Roll Marathon in San Antonio here. I
think it's the Rock and Roll Marathon.
Yeah, something like that. Rock and Roll Marathon. Yeah, I ran that like I guess a year or two ago now at this point. It was like 2020, I don't even remember, 2021?
Year and a half ago.
2022? Okay, yeah, I think it was 2021. Either way, we ran that, and yeah, like there's a whole bunch of people just like, yeah, just cheering, like throughout the entire mileage. We only ran the half, but Matt ran the whole thing. Matt ran the whole 26.2.
I don't like flexing on that, but I did.
He ran the whole thing.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I was just like, that was like kind of like a kind of off, a kind of weird, kind of somewhat different Christmas present. I guess, was it Christmas or birthday? I don't know. Christmas/birthday present for my mom because she runs marathons all the time. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm doing a half in San Antonio, blah, blah, blah. And that's like surprised her and like ran it with her or like ran it.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, so like, let's go. We're going to do this.
His mom is an avid marathon runner. Like she runs those motherfuckers.
Yeah, like seven.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. She did 7, right?
At
least 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can do a half for breakfast. And then
light 2.5 hours.
But she was going to be in our city and she was going to run our marathon. And then Justin was just like, all right, well, I'm just going to run the half with her. And then I'm going to pull up on her. And I'm going to be like, yeah, Mom, what's up? You know?
What it is? We doing the thing.
Yeah. And I think that's dope, man. I think it's dope because one of the things that like I think we really appreciated about human connection is when someone can like relate to how you feel. So like now your mom kind of knows, like in that moment you were like, I'm going to suffer with you and know like what it feels like to be you in this moment of appreciation for you. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that had to be like kind of I would have been a little overwhelmed about that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a lot to ask somebody to be like, well, you run this fucking marathon.
Yeah, she cried.
Yeah, let's go.
That's always a sign of a good gift.
Yeah, right.
If they cry in a good way.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's true.
If they cry in a good way, crying tears of joy, that's like...
Got him.
That's buckets. That's
just look at him like Kobe Bryant. Yeah.
That's a fist pump right there. That's a fist pump in your soul. The giving nature of your soul fist pumps. Yes, bro. Fucking got him.
It's so fun to get. I feel like life is just like opportunities. A lot of opportunities for things to happen. And like, that's good. But opportunity to like do something well or to do something poorly is like, it could go either way. You know what I'm saying?
The forks in the road.
Yeah. I've definitely like
little
not
things.
Gotten my girlfriend a birthday present before, or not gotten like a anniversary present of when we started dating,
or not giving your girlfriend a present on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
you nearly got her Valentine's Day present. You gave it to her early. Still nothing on Valentine's Day is a no.
It's a no.
You live and you learn.
These are
things about stuff.
That's things about stuff.
That's things about stuff.
For anybody that would go through that and have to learn that lesson the hard way, it would break my heart a little bit for that person.
Just get them anything.
It's about the celebration of the day, because it's like it's a vibe too.
On that day.
Yeah, because it's only that vibe that day. Like it is special in the sense where it's like, we're in this moment together.
It's like everyone like is waiting for the bass to drop. The love bass.
Let that beat go.
And then if it doesn't,
oh no! You just made me feel so awkward. I thought we were gonna dance together right now. I thought we were gonna.
Right, exactly.
You didn't have like something lined up for me.
I was ready for the bass to drop.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
All month it was gonna drop.
It never changes. Oh fuck! But that's real.
That's a real thing.
That's real.
That's a real thing. I think I've been on the.
You live and you learn.
Where did that start from? There's expectation. No, there's
That's
opportunity.
Why I'm running that half marathon for my mom.
Yeah.
Gift giving.
Gift giving. There's opportunity there to really like connect with somebody, to really like do some good there. But there's also opportunity also to like kind of hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, it is like that duality is like kind of attached.
Yeah.
Or like they're equal and opposite.
I think it's because there's
The expectation is what leads to the disappointment.
But that's not a bad thing. Like, you know, that because expectation is like, I feel like in the next time there's an opportunity for like a Valentine's Day, and then you like, anybody's able to like fulfill that expectation in a way that leads to like the tears of joy. Like that's a beautiful thing you get to enjoy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's the best.
That's tight.
It's like the best thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, gift giving is a crazy thing. Okay, that thought stemmed from some people think that you should diminish expectation. Like expectation leads to your pain and your upset feelings. So like if you can extinguish your expectation, then you won't get hurt anymore. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, no, it's just an opportunity. It's an opportunity for like growth on both parts to like not be like, you know, so upset that you can't enjoy the day because your expectation wasn't met. But then also like to learn how to like meet it in a way that creates that incredible moment, you know? I was thinking about how I forgot my microphone like a few times. And it's a whole thing because I live kind of far away and there's traffic and it's like we're on timelines and shit. But I just never had, like, I haven't had to bring this piece of equipment specifically to work with me. Like in the situation of what it is, I use it in a different lane of my life too. So like, yeah. I just wasn't.
It's not in its default mode right now.
No,
it's going rogue. What's my mic doing?
This is not its home. Like this is not its purpose. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Where's my computer?
Yeah.
What do you have me plugged into?
Where are my friends?
What's my setup?
Yeah. The desk I know and love.
For real. Yeah. So there's been times when I like fire do the podcast bullet, but I didn't have this and it kind of like screwed us. And then today I had the impulse of for the first time, I felt the first time like there was a fresh impulse of don't forget your microphone. And I was like, ha. My brain created it. Like there it was.
There it is.
Like that thing didn't exist before. I would just
the phone keys wallet. Phone keys wallet microphone.
Yeah, especially on podcast day.
Yeah.
And so like one of the first things I did was like put my outfit on the chair and then put my mic on the chair. And then I was like went about everything else. And then I was like, my brain's tight because if I mess up 3 or 4 times, my brain will create a new synapse for the fuck up thing.
Yeah, the fail safe.
Yeah.
Or
something.
The correction.
Yeah, the auto correction of.
Or at least its attempts. At least when it thinks will correct it. You know?
Yeah.
That's in this case it's pretty simple. It worked.
Yeah, it was just like a warning, like a notification popped up, and it was like, "Don't forget that thing." Yeah, you feel pain when you forget that thing. And it's like, oh, I do get upset when I forget.
Future pain alert.
And I was like, thank God, my brain generates that thing for me from time to time. It's like, oh, don't touch that, remember? And I was like, oh, I do remember.
He's like, remember, you saw that video on TikTok of that guy touching that thing? It's like, oh shit,
don't do that.
I'm not gonna touch it. It's like, how do I know that?
Yeah, it also can come from like super
to your subconscious or some sheesh.
Yeah, you saw something when you were like, you built a perception of what that thing is through all the television you watched in your life, and you're like, don't do that. Don't go out. Don't say yes to that thing because I kind of know what happens when you say yes to that thing. That's like intuition, I think, when you dive into your subconscious that deep. But regardless, I don't think we should shy away from expectation because it's like the cool thing about the brain is like even if you fail, like your brain will create like a fail safe that doesn't let you fail anymore, and then it's just like, yeah, now I just bring my microphone with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and now you have your brain telling you to bring it with you as well, and like making like a double checking on you. Like the 2 U's, the second U is like, hey, first U, remember that thing, bro.
It's awesome. I love that. Yeah. And then I listen to it. So now that relationship's stronger. It's like when I tell him what to do, he listens. And I'm like, well, when he tells me what to do, I listen. It's cool to have both of them. I think you have a relationship. That's one thing I learned about being single for like the last year is I couldn't be single if I didn't like replace the time I was hanging out with someone else with something else. Because I was just like laying in bed, like watching Netflix with all the time that I would have spent with like my partner. But instead I like realized that I need to hang out with myself. Like I need to go get in the car and drive myself around town and like listen to the music that I like, get some coffee, like do the shit, run my own errands, like accomplish all the things that I was doing with somebody else, but just like with me. And then have like self-talk during that time.
Yeah, hang out with you, find out who you are.
Exactly, bro. Like what music makes me tweak? What music makes me like you wouldn't know if you didn't listen to a bunch of music and like let yourself act like for me, I wouldn't have known if I didn't think about that and like push myself to
try to emulate, or not emulate that, but try to feel that feeling.
Yeah, like I guess part of learning myself too is like getting out of my comfort zone. So sometimes I listen to music that's like not hip hop to see if it makes me freak out in my soul. And then I find like different songs like in different genres of music that I'm like, this shit makes me like, oh, I'll be in trouble if I left you now. That's not how the song goes, but that's the song. Like, dude, that song is like will make me get to the emotional state, and it's not even about anybody in my mind, but it's just like the spirit of that song. Mm-hmm. And I think that like there's different things that like if you just spend time with yourself, just like if you spent time with anybody, you would learn things that like you didn't expect to like learn about somebody.
Yeah.
And then I was like learning a lot of stuff about me, and then like the more things that I learned that I didn't expect to learn about me, the spider webs of my life like kind of like showed me like, oh, that's why that's in my system. All these things are like connected in a way. This is like
what do you mean?
Like I think like part of me really likes a lot of old gospel music and the way that sounds because my dad would like play that in the house when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
So then like even on Kanye West songs with like those samples like that specifically, like that really hits for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like why am I so predisposed to be rocking with this off the jump?
Like God, this just gets me going. Like
why?
Yeah, and then okay. I think like one of the first things that made me feel that was like R&B lady singer samples too. So like yeah, like Pusha T, like what's that song? Diet Coke. I don't even know if there's a lady singing in that song. But just anytime there's a sample of a lady being like
a lemon pepper freestyle.
Yes, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about too. It just opens up my spirit a little bit and kind of makes me be like, and then I was like, why do I like that? And I was like, I think it's when I was a kid, like Sierra, like Missy Elliott, and like those R&B influences kind of like cracked into hip hop, which for me was just Eminem and Jay-Z at that time. It was kind of like rough. And then once you got like the R&B singers doing like hooks and stuff like that, it was like, oh shit, this is him in a spurt.
He was a Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, bro. So I don't know, just like all of that stemmed from like just trying to understand or realizing that spending time with myself had a lot of benefits, and then understanding myself further had a lot of benefits to like just having this better relationship with myself.
Yeah.
And that better relationship with myself gave me more agency within my own behavior.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and it allowed me to like listen, like be more disciplined, show up on time, like be closer towards my ideal every day. Whereas like actually make my bed and turn off my lights and shut it off my computer before I leave like every day. It's like this relationship's just like functioning really well.
Nice.
Yes,
yeah. I think it's very important for everyone to kind of go through that. It's like I think it's like a maybe presented or interpreted as like a desert in life at first, because you're kind of on your own and like in solitude more or less, and like having to figure out who you are and figure out what you like and what you don't like and whatever, how you like to spend your time.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I think you have to I think maybe it's not like a prerequisite for everyone, because I guess there are like high school sweethearts and people who are married for X amount of years, long time. And
I ask everybody on their anniversary how they met.
Yeah, we work in a place where there's a lot of anniversaries. We come into contact with a lot of anniversaries. I've seen a lot of years come through that door. A lot
of people on their big day. I've seen a bunch of those nights. Mm-hmm. Because we're targeted to, we're like really nice. We're a place you go to celebrate. So oftentimes like I'm like probably 50% of the people that I see, they are there to celebrate.
Yeah.
And then like maybe a quarter of those or a third of those it's their anniversary. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing like that's every day for me.
Every day.
And then so I ask those people like, do you mind me asking? I'm curious to know how you met. And then a lot of times like it's like 50-50. Sometimes they're like, and then I'm always like, push through. Like it's like a
push through. Yeah. Come on. Okay. You can do it.
Yeah. I want like almost like they're a performer. I'm like, because I did just ask you to perform the story of your relationship. I asked you to give your spiel of you. I know I did, but then I want to coach them. Be like, no, it's okay. Like, I'm a positive audience. I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
I got nothing but claps for you. Mm-hmm. And then the other half is like they can't wait to be like, well, 28 years ago. They're like ready to go.
Okay, like half and half.
Yeah, and
where do you think the reluctancy comes from the other from that 50?
I think that it's because the narrative of how they met, they don't have a good story within themselves for how they met, and then it's probably like a thing like that they kind of don't like. Like, I remember I got this girl's phone number and we went on a date, and then she was kind of into me, and then we were like walking to our cars and she was like, I met you at a gas station. What do we do about that? And I remember being like,
wait, what?
Do you want to make out? Like, I don't fucking, like, that was in my head. I was like, I thought we were like, I was like,
what's happened to you?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? You lost me. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
You're talking about one of your tables.
No, this is a true story.
Okay.
But this is a story within that story to explain how meeting someone is like a thing.
Okay, yeah.
Like, we were into each other, and I thought we were gonna like go like maybe like make out by our car. We were kind of like, yeah, we were like
marriage and kids.
We were like holding hands. It had gone to like an arm around the back situation.
Okay.
So I was like,
this is growing.
Yeah, and then she's like, yeah, but like, I met you in a gas station. How do I tell our children that one day? I mean, not really, but like, she was like,
the idea of...
you must reconcile with this, sir. What am I supposed to tell my friends?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't even know. I think I just wasn't really prepared for that question. I was legitimately like, why do you give a fuck? Like, I think I was like, I felt so like, I was a little tipsy too. I think what I said was, I was like,
talking about?
I felt really lucky to meet you that day. Like, I felt like I saw you and you're beautiful.
That's
and then,
some fate shit.
Yeah, you were talking to me and I was just like, I'm just going to ask her out. Like, I don't really do that very often, you know? So like, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to tell your friends, I guess.
Nah.
And then she was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go home. And I was like, what? We did not make out. And she left. And I was like, that's cool. Well, like, we'll go out again. But it killed the moment. I didn't have something charismatic to say right there. And then I was like, driving home, and I was like, I guess maybe that is it. I don't know. What the fuck?
Some waiter's gonna ask us about this at the spot where he works at, and I'm gonna be a little embarrassed. I'm gonna be a little embarrassed when you tell him that you met me at a gas station. In my soul of souls.
That's the reluctance.
That's where it came from.
That's the reluctance. That's where it comes from, exactly, to a T. And then the other thing is, do they want to lie? Because then if it's like your partner knows.
No way, you're gonna lie on their anniversary of where they met. You're gonna lie about your origin story on your anniversary. That's doomed. That's doomsday, cuz.
There's no way you're gonna have good sex after that. Your energy's a little fucked.
Good marriage.
Okay. No, precisely. But but these are the gentleman's predicaments.
Yeah, these are real things.
I feel them be like,
folks.
But like, sometimes I ease them. Well, hold on. I'm just so not over all of that thing that you're talking about. It's so real.
It's very funny. Very real.
I think that people, ideally, they do want to have I think you could create a great origin story out of like whatever the fuck was handed to you.
You want to be able to, maybe the details don't have to be super crazy, or like I was just flying in a plane and then that bitch was going down. I had a parachute out.
I saw a lady flying in the air with no parachute.
Gave her my parachute.
Put this on. And then how did he live?
I knew it was meant to be.
Okay. Then I hugged her. I told her, if we live, I'm going to marry you.
I got caught on the arms of a fucking phoenix. You'll never believe it.
A true phoenix flew over my head and cried. No.
Grabbed me. But the details don't have to be super, super crazy for you to have a good articulation or a good story, or like, I guess what constitutes a good story?
I think people. So this is a bigger part.
That's where it comes from.
That's a part of it, right?
Yeah.
It's
not a good story. Well, like, who the fuck are you to tell me what's a good story?
Right? I think that they want. I don't even think that they realize. I mean, people probably, if we talk to them about it, they'd be like, "Yeah, I guess I do want a good origin story for my fucking love," right? Mm. But like, I think it just in that moment when I'm like, I'm curious to know, how did you guys meet? Because I've been like, who could tell me no? Like, you can't really say like, hey man, why don't you mind your own business?
Hey brother, nah, okay, you're gonna get our orders, water right now, And you will be right back, right?
Fuck the book you're writing, sir. I'm disinterested in being a part of your study. No one's told me that. But I think that's part of like the choke up moment is like if they don't have a good story to tell themselves, and then in that moment of realizing like I don't even want to think about what, like it's just like catching someone with their hand in the cookie jar. They don't even know their hand's in the cookie jar. They're just like, oh my god, it's in there. How do I get it out? But no, people will tell me like a lot of people will just tell me. Part of it is too, people don't want to say that they met on the internet. But like we said, they don't want to lie about it either because it'd be super fucked up in that moment when you're celebrating their love. Yeah.
Cursed love. I'm sorry, I'm not putting that on anybody. I'm just fucking around.
Well, it's funny though because I think that it kind of would. It kind of would like fuck up your metaphysics.
Like, hey, baby, you're gonna lie to them about our story?
Yeah, I'd be like, what? Are you embarrassed?
Is that what we do? We lie about our story to people? I haven't lied to anybody about our story.
What are you gonna tell our kids?
Yeah. Whose story are we telling them?
Yeah, no, I feel you. That's like super. There's an episode of How I Met Your Mother about that where the lady's like has this big elaborate story for how they met, and she like really cares about Ted's friends, thinking like it's a cute story.
Okay.
And then Lily and Marshall, she's all like, "Well, fucking perfect couple. How did you guys meet?" Marshall's like, "How did we meet? How did us become one?" It's the question you'd like from me, right? Okay. And then he just starts going in and like has that perfect story. It's like motifical in that sense.
Okay, he does.
And then the lady is like outraged. She's like, "You son of a bitch." And then at one point Ted's like, they're like, "Why is your girlfriend fucking acting weird, bro?" And he's like, "Oh, it's because like we met online." And she's like kind of embarrassed about it. And then they're all like, got it. And then they go back and she's still like putting up the facade and they're all just like, no. And then they find out that after she's been putting up the facade for like enough time that it's super embarrassing, they're like, we know the truth. And she's like, "We're done." Leaves.
We're done.
And I think that they're probably playing on that same bit of like,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Same thing we just stumbled into. That's truth. How'd you meet?
A lot of people.
That whole show is How I Met Your Mother. Like that's what the show is about. The entirety of the premise. I
didn't even put that together. You're so right. Because you want that story is just important for some reason. Because the story of your life is fucking important. Like,
if you have a kid, it's like, how did I become?
I was this one couple, and the guy said, "Well, I was shaking my ass in the club, and she's a smart one with the money. She kind of came over. I shot my shot. Here I am. 10 years later, 2 kids. I'm a lucky motherfucker." And I was like, that's great honesty. That's the way to be. People don't like to say they met in the club. They'll tell me they met in the club, but they're kind of embarrassed about it.
But that guy wore it perfectly. So humble, so much humility. He was like, "I'm so lucky." I felt like that's how I felt when that girl was like, "We have a terrible story." And I was like, no. I feel like I'm a 1 in a million story.
Yeah, so lucky, right? Who would have thought? Like, bumped into you like fate, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That wasn't enough for her. She wasn't into that.
She was not having it.
You had 2 packs of White Claws in both hands.
What's up, babe?
I had to get your number.
Oh, was that true?
Kind of.
Oh, no.
Kind of, but she didn't like throw it in my face like that. But I mean, she could have. But
that'd be funny.
We had a studio session.
If she was able to throw it in your face, that would have proved a sense of humor, and she would have been able to look past it. I think
so, right? But she wasn't into it. I think also I later learned she had a man.
Oh,
ladies are.
That's a really weird story.
I know. It's a problem with picking girls up at the gas station.
It's out in the wild.
Yeah, just wildy.
Out in the wild, there's natural habitat.
I'll pull out my bow.
He lines up the shot.
To think about it. Do I want this kill? Do I have a tag for this kill? Is it right?
Headshot.
And then
I don't know if you want a headshot. Actually, I think you want to shoot in the body somewhere, right?
But then 6 weeks later, they're like, "I've got a whole relationship. We're going to Paris next week. I didn't know how to tell you." And I'm like, "Oh my god." But segment. I would say that the majority thing that people tell me when I ask them, "How did you meet?" Like the primary number one running thing, it's probably like 62.
Number one answer.
Number one answer for 62 points.
Okay.
Through friends or family.
Okay.
They're like, I knew her. My brother knew her best friend, and we were all at a party, and they like introduced us, and we just like hit it off. And that's like almost 62%. They're just like, oh, it was my like we were friend group, or brother friend group, or sister sibling friend group.
Are you work in there as well, or no?
What do you mean?
Like work friends, or like met it like through work?
That's like probably number 3.
Answer?
That's probably number 3 is met through work, which I like. That's a top 5 answer. It makes me happy.
Okay.
I like that people, Jim Halpert and Pam.
That idea is real.
Yeah, that idea is real. That's a real
Very
thing.
real.
And I love seeing a couple. They're like, oh yeah, like 3 or 4 jobs ago we worked together at some bullshit place we don't really even like fucking think about anymore. And he just like bloop plucked me out, and now we're here.
No, he is motherfucker.
And I'm like, nice, you fucking. And then I'm like, I love hearing that answer because it lets me feel like I don't have to like do a whole lot of extra in my life to find my partner. Like, you just went to work. You just went to your fucking employment and you found love.
You got paid.
Lifelong love. Like, that shows me I don't need to like go out to bars per se, or I don't need to be on dating apps per se. Like, I could just live my life and stay in my lane. And like, I'm not saying I would be a partner at work, but I'm just saying like, I think just going where you're supposed to go, you could meet a partner. That's like what I hear when people say work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've also got the answer. We met at church, or like through church, or like some sort of religious ties.
For me, like, that's a lot.
Shit hits.
That's a lot lower. People would love to say that. It's an awesome story.
Yeah,
but like,
I don't ask that often. But you ask like every couple.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
I like to have fun with it, and it's fun for me to ask them. But then also, I think it's just like fun for the experience to. Like, they're out on date night. It's like anniversary
night. That's what they're celebrating. Yeah.
Like, okay, throw me your fastball.
You're in whatever chapter you are, 23, 27. I've seen people coming in there on their 60th anniversaries and sheesh.
It's funny.
Second anniversary, first anniversary.
If it's your second anniversary, they're a little embarrassed too. They're like, 2.
Yeah. Like, hey, there you go. Round in the corner.
When they're like 31, baby. Yeah. Like, they wear it with some bravado. That's a funny thing too.
A little diff.
But yeah, so then the number 2 answer I think I get is number 1 would be like we met through
friends and family.
Number 3 is work, but number 2 would be people say this to me very often. They say we've known each other since middle school, or we've known each other since high school, or like we were friends in college.
High school sweethearts?
Yeah. Or no, it's not that. It's that they knew each other back then. Oh. And they're together now.
I see.
So I'm like, how did you meet? And they're like, we've been Facebook friends for 8 years, and then I just DM'd her a bunch of times.
I shoot my shot like Steph, bro, and that shit wet, bro. Just splash.
I see, they don't say that part, but I think when they say that, when they're like, oh, well, we went to the same middle school and then we reconnected. I'm like, nice, fucking Facebook scoring points over here.
Splash.
Should I put that in the Tinder column? Yeah. It's like kind of.
It's cross. It's a cross answer.
But yeah, dating app is probably number 4. If I put in like, because I'll get people that are like, we met on Bumble, and like it's their 3rd anniversary, and I'm like, damn,
let's go.
That shit works.
Making it happen, papa.
People are like, I want partnership. And then they meet someone on that app that's also saying that. And then they just like employ each other into partnership.
They're like, I am looking for a partner. Do you have any experience? Your employment history looks a little shaky. Here.
Can you explain to me the 6-month relationship you had with the lady that was delivering your mail? What happened there? And then subsequently, why did you move?
And you have no references.
Yeah, that's a whole thing too, is that you kind of do need, it's nice whenever people know the person that you're dating. If there's some like background, if they're not like just out of the thin air. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I feel like that's a part of, that's why people like meeting through friends and family, or maybe like, oh, I went to school with her. Like I knew her mom at one point or some shit like that.
I
you know,
she's a real person.
Yes.
For sure. That's a big thing in the online thing, is like catfish like made that very apparent, very obvious. Like, this shit's going on at a mass scale.
Dude, do you think that shit still goes on?
At a mass scale, people. Probably. It probably goes on more so now than it ever has.
I know, right?
Right? Isn't that weird?
It's so weird to me. It's like the opposite of what I do with my life. I try to be as authentic as I can.
Yeah.
There's people that are talented at being unauthentic.
There's levels. There's ways to do it properly.
Dude, like, I'm single, right? So, like, I've been on Tinder. Like, not for more than, like, a week, maybe. Definitely not longer than a week, because it just starts to feel weird. But part of the problem is why it feels weird is, like, I don't know if this person's real. And you could, like, FaceTime.
Always in the back of your mind.
Always in the back of your mind.
Always in the back of your mind. Or it should be in the back of your mind.
Right.
For some people, it's like, maybe it is in the back of their mind, but it's just so repressed and so not even given any light or any weight. It's like, shut the fuck up. This person loves me. Shut up.
Don't you want some love in our life?
We need this love.
I need a little love right now. I don't care what it costs. Yeah, that is definitely. But I've also like hooked up with someone from Tinder before, and like 2 or 3 years ago. Not something I'm avidly doing right now.
It happens
for sure.
It happens.
But it like at the same time, it was still. I don't know. I guess that's what it feels like to hook up with at a bar with anybody ever, right? You're kind of like, God, I didn't really know that person at all.
Yeah, it's like, damn, that's cliche.
That's exactly how it felt.
Fuck, that's cliche.
I feel gross. God, I hate that I clichély feel gross. I'm gonna go take a shower and then feel stupid about it because it's so cliche. Shower. God damn it. And go run a lot so I feel different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that like so those things kind of deterred me from it. So my like connotation of like dating apps is like not for me. But then people will be like, oh yeah, like we're married. That shit like
we're married.
That shit works.
Been married. You're celebrating our marriage.
We forgot about that dating app shit until you brought it up.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that was so irrelevant.
Crazy, man. And then
it's just like working at a job that you have no ties to at all anymore. And it's like, oh yeah, we worked at this place that I don't even think about at all anymore.
Yeah. That's beautiful. To me, that's the American love story, man. Like, that's what I want to hear. Like, yeah, we used to work at a fucking TGI Fridays, dude. I don't even know. What'd you do?
Can't even tell you.
Yeah. There should be some cute report about it. But, like, at any rate.
But the thing, at the end of the day, though, I think the thing is that it doesn't fucking matter where you met if you're able to have that, like, a true marriage. Like, for real.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about the origin story. That's where you had that truth in talking to that girl at the gas station. She's
for
like,
sure.
What about our story? And you're like, I don't give a fuck. If this is like meant to be, then like, what do you care?
Yeah, I had so much fun in there. What are you talking about? Yeah,
for sure. So I see where you're coming from, and I see that truth. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So the origin. So if it's online, fuck, who gives a shit?
You sound like my dad. My dad's like, well, I don't care about the story, or like, I just feel like he would always be like, okay, that's not what my dad's like at all. That was a really bad impression. I knew what I was saying was true, but I needed to fill it because I wasn't sure about I forgot how.
Why do you care? Not at all. That's
not how my dad sounds. But my dad would say something like, dude, you like want a girlfriend that doesn't care what your car looks like doesn't care that like y'all go somewhere like affordable for dinner. Like, if she is pressing you about those things and you're spending like a lot of money to like meet an expectation, it's like not the girl for you. Like, stop.
Not ideal.
Yeah, stop doing that.
One recommended.
Yeah, and then I used to just think like, man, Dad, you don't know how to work for these hoes, dog. Or like,
no shit about no hoes.
Can we bleep that out? Bitches or hoes? For me, what do you think would be better for me to use? No. But I just would think like, Dad, like these are beautiful women. These are beautiful women I'm interested in.
Beautiful.
I must court them, Father.
They must be courted.
They will not fall.
Father, they will never join our house. The father will never agree to the marriage. We don't have a nice offering.
I hope you're putting together a wonderful dowry, Father. No, but like I did kind of think that way. I was like, nah, like women deserve to be courted, dog. So I do want to meet expectation. I want to play the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be like, no. With your
no, I don't give a shit. This is my car.
Or whatever it would be. You know what I'm saying? But I get it now because I think that what he was trying to communicate is that like when you have that like true connection or that true marriage, like you're talking about, like that real like love partnership, it's like y'all will not give a fuck about like you understand you're driving that car like situationally, like that's not.
Yeah, you could have nothing together, and that's it. That's all you need. That's it.
He was like, pursue that thing. Find a girl that's down for you like that, and then like life will just be fun. Like life will be so enjoyable for you because your life won't be about trying to meet an expectation to make someone happy. It'll be about just like enjoying it together until you're like have surpassed expectation with each other. And I was like, that shit's fire.
Fire.
So I love that dichotomy in our podcast right now that like you're in a super happy committed relationship and I'm deep into the wildy of being by myself.
In the wildy, bro.
Yeah. It's cool.
But I think everybody needs to go through that desert. I think I was talking about that earlier.
Yes.
It presents itself as a desert, and it is a desert, but I think it's necessary. Maybe it's not, because some people meet like through whatever other lens, maybe through childhood or whatever. But I think if you're able to willingly go into that desert of solitude and figure out who you are in that process and like really be about that and really set your intention on that and like have your heart in that place, you will find out who you are. And then after you find out who you are, or maybe like in the beginning of that process, but somewhere along that process of like, okay, I'm gonna take some me time. I think on that me time journey, like you will get the relationship. I think it might be like a prereq, like a part of the game, like Legend of Zelda. You need to go through the desert like isolation temple to get to the relationship temple. It's a whole nother game.
Word. For me, it makes sense. Maybe that's like a prerequisite, or maybe I just suck. Like maybe that's a prerequisite for
suck.
Thank you. That's my dog. Thank you, bro. That was like genuine. That motherfucker just touched my heart, dude. I just dropped my shit right there. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll pick up your shit.
No. I won't let you.
No, I got you.
All right. Well, look, here's what I'm saying is that like, because I know maybe like I needed that. Like maybe specifically because I want to be a good husband one day and because I want to be a good dad one day. Like, maybe like I need to go be alone so that I can learn myself well enough that like I know how to be a good partner, or I know like what to ask for my partner. I know what I actually want and need and what I don't actually want and need.
Yeah.
And then
for sure.
Like, but I also think about like Ryan Casey, dude. Like
one of my high school buddies.
He just fucking like I think he's probably a good partner, good father, good teacher, good.
He's one of the most kind-hearted gentlemen I've ever met.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 1. He's kissed one girl and married that one girl. And now has 2 kids with that one girl.
And a ring. Come on, man.
He put a ring on that
championship, man. It's like crazy, man.
He chipped up. He went from 0 to 1 to married, like real quick, faster than any of our friends.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. It was like, where'd Ryan go?
He said, on the moon? What the fuck? We're
all just like, chilling in fucking adolescent land. Or like in our fucking, because I know my high school buddies. I've known them since some of them since middle school, and then all throughout high school, and then throughout college as well. So like in college, that's whenever he springboarded and went from 0 kissed girls to married real quick, like freshman or sophomore year in college. We were all like, what the fuck? So we were all like in our 18, 19, early 20s, and just like being fucking single guys at least. I think all of us were single. At least for a point in time.
There was, we were in that
No
mix.
one got married.
For sure.
No one was thinking of marriage either.
No.
That wasn't even a thought for like any of us.
No.
So it was really funny to see someone go from like the dark horse to the fucking championship, bro.
He won the derby.
He's derbied up.
He's the rose circle.
Bro, get that man a bouquet, a circular bouquet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so
sorry, what were you saying about him though?
Like, when I think about we need that, I'm like, some people, I guess, like, didn't need that. You know what I'm saying?
He definitely didn't. Yeah, I guess maybe that was his whole life before that, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not trying to, like, be mean about that, but, like, maybe he spent a lot of time alone or, like, not in relationships, like, middle and high school.
Literally went from 0 kissed girls
That's what I'm saying.
to 1 kissed girl.
So maybe that was his desert time.
Yeah.
It could have been, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to me. If you want to hear some fucked up shit, like
no,
well, relevant.
Say it anyway.
Sorry, but it's like digestible fucked up shit.
Okay.
And then also, well, I'm just gonna say it, man. I was talking to my dad today, right? We had a great conversation. It was just nice to talk. Anytime we talk, we have a great conversation. But just sometimes we're both like busy or we both have headaches, so it's just hard for us to like sit down and actually like we talk all the time.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get my dad like in this for an hour just because we're far away and shit. He's talking about
sure.
It got to a point where we were talking about how, like, he thinks that he's 50, and he thinks that a lot of his behavior and moral values and things like that are kind of, like, set in stone at this point. Like, he can definitely change some stuff, but just, like, how he views the world and his, like, values behind how he views the world are like, kind of set in stone at this point. And he was like, you could probably still, I think you're at the, like, tail end. Like, you just changed all yours in the last 3 or 4 years, and, like, you're kind of getting more solidified. Like 30 through 40 is going to be like not the same kind of changes you could make on the way you view the world as 20 through 30. But and then he went from that to saying like, but one thing I can change is like I want to be like healthier and like lift weights and like eat well and figure out how to cook better food so that like
let's go.
I'm not just losing weight because I'm eating oatmeal all meals of the day, but like I'm making good food and lifting weights and like doing the right amount of that for someone who's in their 50s.
Yeah, let's go. More nutritionally aware, more physically fit aware.
Yes. And then we went from, I was like, let's go. Like, super affirmative. Like,
LFG.
That's fucking fire, dude. Like, I want 10 years out of you before you get to be like, I'm old. I can't, like, lift weights anymore. Like, I'm taking 10 years, dog.
Let's go.
And he's, like, gassed up about that. And then I said basically like, I know it, even though like me and my brothers are kind of like jacked and like good looking. Like I'm not like being egotistic, but like I know even though like
strapping young gentleman.
Yeah, you raised some strapping young lads.
You raised some strapping lads.
And,
well done. I tip my cap to you. Not every lad is a strapping young one.
Yeah, you've got some bucks in your field, dude. Like holy shit, man. When we go out, people are like, what's happening here?
10 point.
Yeah.
10 point bucks, baby.
Looking like we're in season.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I remember how it felt like when I was a kid and like I was really overweight as a kid and like you and mom were super overweight and like I know it did not feel good. Like we kind of like had like a struggle there where we were like self-conscious all the time and buying clothes really sucked and just like being in public we were kind of like really like self-conscious and
vibration,
uncomfortable, low vibration. And like that is never gone from how I view the world. Like I remember what that felt like, and I know that you have dealt with that your whole life. And when I view like how I think about you and the way that you make choices and your actions and who you are, like I respect you a lot for like fighting through that and still wanting to like change your life now, because it does make like a big difference. And I'm not saying that's like make you feel bad about like where you're at now or like what happened over the course of your life, but just to say like it's worth it to still pursue that now, because feeling that way is worth it. It's a different experience for life.
Yeah, it's worth striving towards that feeling versus just sitting in the not, or versus not, the alternative, which is just to not.
Yes.
It's worth it to at least try.
Yes. So worth it. It's ridiculous.
So worth it. So it's worth, it's worth your life.
And then he was more or less like, yeah, no, don't feel like you can't say something like that. Don't feel uncomfortable saying that. Like, even I'm willing to say that if I had gotten like my weight together and like dealt with that while I was with your mom, I don't think we would have split up. Like, I didn't know how to love your mom because, like, we didn't know how to love each other because we were too busy hating ourselves. And, like, we were never going to be healthy for each other. And then that kind of, like, clicks in my head with what we're talking about now, with, like, spending time alone.
The desert.
Yes. Because, like, he's like, if I would have, well, he didn't say this, but, like, more or less, like, I think he would agree that if he had spent time, like, figuring that thing out by himself and then, like, not be dealing with his problem and then projecting that onto his partner and thinking like it's her fault that he was like not able to go to the gym and like get his weight off and like why he hadn't finished his college degree. He like kind of projected all of that onto her and then built resentment that they couldn't get over. But that's all internal. You know what I'm saying? If you go into the desert, you can figure out exactly who you need to be, what it takes to be that person, and then commit yourself to that thing and then bring someone into that fold. That's fire.
That's fire.
My dad was like, sorry, we didn't work out because I didn't do that thing. And I was like, fuck. He's like, but you're doing that thing right now. So like, you're good.
Keep
like,
going.
Yeah, you're going to be all right. I think it's going to work out for you when it is your time.
Yeah, your time's coming, bro. Love is one of the craziest, hardest things I think to do in the world as a human.
But it's also so simple for some people.
Yeah.
Or like, also once that fire is lit, sometimes it's just lit, you know?
Yeah.
But I agree.
My friend Ryan Casey that we had referred to, he makes it look easy. Or like whenever it just happened so quick. It was just like, bam, 1 year later, life is different. And then ever since then, like I've seen him a couple times at post college and all that, and still just doing the thing, being a married couple, like a happily married couple.
That's
crazy.
Fine.
It's rare to find.
It's rare, dog. Okay, so he just hit the lottery. Like he's crazy lucky. But I still think that it is one of the hardest things to contend with in this life.
Yes, I think so too.
Yes, because the other thing is that like, man, like
being an individual is hard. Yeah. So then to be a couple, it's like you gotta be two individuals and a couple at the same time. It's like shit. There's three things I gotta take care of.
Son of a bitch, man.
Yeah.
But it makes you expansive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it expands your energy field. Like you and a partner can like enter into an energy field that's bigger than two people. Because you are a partnership as well. Yeah. And that's so fire. I think that's like a beautiful thing about life. That's like one of the many unfoldings of the origami swan that is life. Is that, you can enter partnership. You can enter marriage with somebody and be a force even bigger than one individual can be. And then you guys can own a business and then be an even bigger force than your partnership was.
Jay-Z, Beyonce, bro.
Yes. And then for me personally, it's like your best friend and brother can have a partnership that's expansive, and then he can be in the business with you. That makes you like, I'm into that. I'm into this, like, but it's also like Jordan Peterson, like as much as you can hold. Like, I'm not trying to have like power just to have power, but I want to hold like as much like gravity as we can hold as like a people, you know?
Yeah, I think it's part of our, maybe not our test here, but definitely part of our, maybe in the finding out of who you are is finding out how much you can do, finding how much responsibility you can adopt, and how big you can, I guess, create an idea of how to, I guess, create an actionable idea of how to help people in like a tangible way, something that you can like measure and like try to 10x that, make it as big as you can. But
Yeah.
no matter what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think it's part of our, I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't speak for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I feel like there's a part of human nature that leans toward that way of expansion. I think the universe is expanding. We're part of the universe. We are also wanting to expand, but we can also decay. And
I've been in that cycle.
Yeah, like the growth and decay are like the two ends of the spectrum that I think we're always doing. And I think, so I guess you could say it's in our nature to decay and to grow. It's like, it's both. But you kind of like the forks in the road. It kind of depends on you, the individual, the spirit, whatever the hell that thing is. Whatever I am, you are, we are.
My name is Matthew.
I can grow.
Yeah.
I'm a grow.
When I think about, there's two images in my mind when we were kids that I thought about, like, what we were metaphysically. When I like just imagined like our spirits or like whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. But I saw us as like redwood trees. And like
big old oaks, baby. Big old redwoods.
Like huge fucking
big old trunk.
Like healthy, massive trees in a forest. And like we were part of that forest. Like it felt good that like I was.
And you were just thinking like, this is us?
Yeah. When I thought about like us, like sitting in the backseat of the car, I think we were like driving home one day and I was just like tired from eating pasta at Zio's or something.
We were kids.
Yeah. Like nobody's talking in the car. You're just listening to some music.
Like, oh my God.
I was like, I'm a big old fat redwood tree. I'll tell you what. In God's garden.
I'm a big old redwood. I'll tell you what.
And as I looked over at you,
feel like a redwood.
I was like, just saw you I was like, that's so cool. We're just like giant redwood trees.
Maybe you just felt stuck from all the pasta.
Could have been. But there was something beautiful about it. And then another time I saw us as like pillars of ice. I saw us as like, there was like a super fortress in the middle. And then there was like ice pillars like protecting it from like harm's way. And like I was a pillar and you were a pillar. And I was like, we got like 2 of those 8 pillars covered for me and my boy. That's gas. Like that's tight. I love that we're just like,
we got the eastern front. No one coming up on this side.
Left side. Strong side. Yeah. And I don't know, that just stuck with me. I saw that when I was like a kid.
So yeah, I think you're like mentioning that in reference to like the idea of growth being like a thing. That I think growth is or growth and decay. I think are both part of your human nature. You can be either way. Either way is both, or either way is your. I guess we do die, So I guess maybe we lean towards entropy and lean towards decay. We are decaying slowly, like no matter what. That's like kind of the default. But growth is definitely real too.
Yeah, your default setting is you do have to eat because you're gonna wither.
But people are growing up. You know what I'm saying? From like birth to death, there's like a growing up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I think that's why. And then we are stuck on grow. Like that's a part of. We're still growing. Like we still want like a professional career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that growth doesn't.
And we can always learn. I think we're. I don't know. I guess it's the adage, "Old dogs can't learn new tricks." How much truth is in that?
I think as much as you allow it to be.
I think that's true. I think what you said is true.
Yeah, because
I think whenever I'm gonna be learning, I think I'm gonna be pretty open to new information, especially especially if it's corrective or if the information I have is misinformation or whatever. I'm down to be wrong. I'm okay with that.
I think it's just harder to fight the entropy demon as you get older. Like in your 50s, you're probably like, I ain't trying to learn Spanish, motherfucker.
Fuck Spanish.
You kidding me? Like, I ain't trying to. But it would be like the same difficulty as it would be right now to just like start studying it on the computer. But I think just like the way you perceive time and like what's worth your time and like what's like, you're like, oh, like, yeah, I could know it, but like I've gone by this long without it. Like
it's the sunk cost.
Yeah, I think there's like just the entropy demon gets like more and more yoked the older you get, and it gets harder for you to the point where you're willing to just die to it. To be honest, I think it's like it gets to a point where it wins eventually. Yeah, because Father Time's undefeated. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you're gonna die eventually.
Yeah,
but I think I'll be able to learn new tricks on my way there. I don't know. Who knows how much truth is in that?
I think if we continue to take
it's in the eye of the beholder.
Super mega multivitamins,
yeah,
that also plasticizes your brain.
I think so for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely increases your openness factor in your personality. So that's like, I'm not sure what to make of that.
There's also a way to re-relevant everything. Like, you can make things irrelevant. You can make work irrelevant right now. Like, if Jay-Z called me, all of, like, a lot of my life would become instantly irrelevant. And then, like, I think you can do that with your perspective all the time. You can just be like, yeah, for me, it was like thinking about girls, I'm just like gonna irrelevant all women. And I suggest that, like, if you're like a guy and it hurts because like you're not with a girl, or you're just like, I know that pang of being lonely, and you kind of like slide in some DMs you don't mean to slide in, or you like go to a strip club and spend a rack you didn't mean to spend. I mean,
racks.
That's not me, but I
sound like a fucking what's the Migos song?
Slide racks,
slide racks,
slide racks. No, for real. But like, yeah, just irrelevant women, just like, because then you have to figure out what would you do if women were irrelevant for a minute. Like, what would you do?
How would you construct your existence with that now? Like new information.
What would become important to you? So important that you would actually...
You have to assign your energy to something.
Yes.
It's like, okay, take all your energy off that. Okay, now where are you going to put it?
Like, you can do nothing. Like, I think the natural impulse is to probably, like, get drunk every night and party with your friends until you're, like, sick to your stomach of it. But then it's like, you have to, like, find purpose. You have to create that mission. Like, you have to decide to do something. Mm-hmm. Or you can continue to dilute and distract, but...
Choose to do something, anything. Choose to do it. I think that was a big thing in life for me. Around 23.
Yeah, I decided, Big Sean.
Choose to do something. Just choose. It doesn't really matter. You're probably gonna be wrong, but I think choosing to do something, no matter what it is, it's like I'm gonna be a baker. I want to make some fucking pastries. I want to be a TikTok chef. It's like, then do it. Like, just go towards that. Just keep going towards that.
Yeah.
And on that way, you'll find whatever you're meant to be. Whatever that thing is inside of you that's telling you to do that thing. Like, I like that, or I'm interested in that. I'm pretty good at that. I think I could achieve in that field.
Yeah.
Pursue that,
dude. And
go that way.
Be selfish. I chose rap. I chose rap
because I did not choose rap until I chose rap until 23. Do something. Choose to do something.
Yep.
Before that, I was just going to college because everyone else is going to college. Undecided. I was literally undecided. Undecided major going in. Listen to one spiel about come to our major. People in our major get jobs. I'm like, shit. That sounds like what I'm trying to do.
That was the biggest.
That's what we're all trying to do here. We're all trying to come here so we can get a job. That's like the job that you get from the college degree. That's why we all come to college, to get the college degree, to get the job. So, right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't consciously choosing to do anything.
That's so crazy. It's how... Dude, I remember breaking through that and being like, whoa, what do I want to do here?
Yeah.
That was like a big fucking deal to shrug off all of that influence of what...
Hey, you go to college, huh? That's college goes. Yeah.
Can't wait. You gonna pledge, bro?
Oh, you gonna pledge? Oh my God, remember my college days.
I'll tell you what, I'll see you at Bikini Hill. That's what they told me. There's a Bikini Hill that I can go to. I can't imagine this place. That was college, you know what I'm saying? And then I was just like, yeah, no clue. A lot of it too is trying to craft. That's why I say forget about women, because a lot of what I was doing was trying to craft a resume that would get me dates. It's I'm going to be a financer. I'm going to be super jacked. What else can I do that would
super jacked?
What else can I do here to make myself seem like I'm more
what am I bringing to the table? How do I bring more things to the table?
That's I need a nice car. I need a really nice car.
Yeah.
That way when we go places, at least I'm bringing that to the table. We go in a nice car.
Yeah.
So I have a nice car.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm a finance major. I should graduate and get a really nice job where we get paid a lot.
He's a finance major.
Yeah.
Oh my God, finance?
It's fun to say that, right?
Money?
Finance, if you really know.
Finance? Money talk, right?
All he does is talk money.
All he does is study money. That's a good pro in the dating column.
You know what I'm saying?
Your resume.
But then part of me had a moment where I realized it's kind of lame to live your life crafting it as a resume to pull bitches.
For someone else.
Yes.
For some objective person you've never met that you're casting this ideal onto, your ideal partner.
And it's not even a part. It could also be people at the bar because you want them to think you're cool, or they want them. You want clout, or you want. Man, when I go back to how I felt back then, I think it's just you want acceptance.
Yeah.
I think you want to create this narrative for your life where people are going to like fuck with you. Be like, that sounds like I'll order some of that.
I'll have what he's having.
Just like spieling yourself to people. And like, I think that that's all weird as fuck. Like, I don't care if you want to order me. I don't care if you don't want to order me. Like, I'm disinterested in telling you what I'm about. I want to just like be about it, which is kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard to be about what you want to be about. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm interested in focusing on that thing, because it is difficult to do.
For sure. Super hard.
And yeah, and I realized the separation between, I was like, oh, I just wanted to fucking talk about it. Like, I just wanted like people to think I was cool, or like girls to want to date me because my situation.
Like having a finance major?
Or like all of it, like where I lived. I want to live on a nice side of town with a nice car, with a pretty dog. I'm going to be like a workout guy, and I'll be a finance major. And then like I go to church, and like that's all. Like, yeah.
That's what I'm about.
That's what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? That's very...
I don't think it's like bad to want those things, but I think there's maybe a way, or not incorrect way to do it.
I was doing it for them though.
Yes. The energy behind it, or the intention.
Yeah. Like it wasn't super, it was kind of true to like, I guess it was like, but if...
I want to live on a nice side of town with a nice car and a nice dog and a nice fam.
Make money.
Go to a nice church, make a lot of money.
Come on.
Who doesn't want that?
See, I think that was part of, I was trying to sell myself on like, that'd be a great life. Like, this is a good life. You know what I'm saying? Like, do these things. Why is it hard for you to go to class? You've got a great life. Why is it hard for you to study money so much?
Come on.
Like, what the fuck? And then it was like, because I don't really want to do any of this. I don't really, like, obviously I want these things, but like, I realized the math on the fact that I can't afford this car. Like, I realized I'm probably not going to finish this degree because like I'm really behind, and like all of the cost money that it would take for me to finish school is like kind of out of hand. And like as I like picked it all apart, I was like, none of this is really true or like actually like sound within itself. All this is
full. It's
kind of just like a prop room for what would be a cool life, I guess.
They're like balloons. It's like a balloon of a car and a balloon of a nice house.
And it was just like none of that shit's like fucking like just like fucking real. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, what do like tear away all of the everything? It's like, what would I actually be worth my time? Like, what would I show up for? Because I'm not showing up for class, and I'm not actually being a good partner to this girl. I'm not even really taking care of my dog very well. And my apartment's a fucking mess. Like, I'm not upkeeping any of this shit.
He still loves you, though.
He was the best dog ever, dog. But yeah, like, it was like, I don't know. And then, yeah, I had that moment where I was like, I would show up to rap. Like, making music is difficult, and I like how it's hard. And when I do it well, like, it's fucking tight.
I love that feeling afterwards.
Yes. So I'm down to, like, actually get good at that because it actually interests me. And like, I know it's fucking dumb, but that was just the way I posed the question. I was like, take away all of the constraints of like doctor, lawyer, finance, like those being the best jobs. Then here's the next layer of jobs for like the status quo of society.
Yeah, to be like a desirable partner in the hierarchy.
I was like, fuck all of that.
Fuck your hierarchy.
But what I do here is like, I want to rap and podcast and fucking, what was the other thing?
Maybe sports related?
Yeah, I guess it was like, I remember there was like a trifecta that we had kind of like figured out that like rapping, podcasting, and maybe doing the sports stuff was like, yeah, I can do my own little content machine. Be like Rob Dyrdek Fantasy Factory.
Yeah.
That was worth it. That was fucking worth it.
That would be worth it. I would try for that.
Yeah. That was massive revelation.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, having that vision. It's important. Super important. Need that shit. You need the vision. And then go for it.
Because it makes it easier to actually do the thing. That's what we were talking about. Is like, you were like, do something. Just do something. Anything.
Choose one thing and
for instance,
just do it.
You were like, be a TikTok baker. I was like, I couldn't do that. I could never be a TikTok.
I would never choose that.
I could never I couldn't give a fuck about it. Like, it'd be too difficult for me to. That's why doing finance didn't work either. It's like, it's not, I don't actually care about it.
That's a big part of the whole college. Why being an undecided major is a thing, and why people change their major so many times is because there's so many majors, and it's kind of like, it feels as if it's like a life decision. It's like marrying your career.
It is kind of a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it's like, shit, where do I want to go? I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere in this college. I can learn anything.
How could anybody know at that point in their life? You know?
Like, no, I was put on this planet to do this. No one really knows at 18 what the hell they're put on this planet to do. No one.
My father was
Some people do, I guess.
Chair maker.
Some people are like,
his father was.
I've been boxing since I was 5.
I just
ready.
What's up, bro?
Rock'em sock'em, bro. Got
That was nice.
Wicked jab. Oh shit!
You just knocked my phone out of my pocket.
Wicked jabs, bro.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get that. There's people that definitely have that, but even them, I'm like, I hope you love that.
Yeah, I hope you really do enjoy this thing that you
Yeah.
built your entire life thinking this is what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Because you're probably going to become a master craftsman in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're all going to, in my mind, we're all going to end up master craftsmen in whatever the fuck you spent your time doing. If you spent your time wasting time, you're going to be a master time waster.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's hard. That's some true shit, dog.
Right? But like, that's why it's like.
Clip that one.
Thank you. I'm hitting, boy. But yeah, that's why I'm like, even though I don't want to go to the fucking gym every day, like I do want to go every day. But that's why, especially, I'm like, dude, what are you going to be a good gym goer or a good gym not goer? Like you're going to get good at one of these things.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever your energy and attention is going towards is growing. It is growing. And whether that's indecision or non-decision, like that's growing. You're becoming a more efficient non-decision machine.
Ugh. That's
shit.
It's just true. I remember when I was like that. Like I was like that. I can't wait to be, if I'm ever successful, that's going to be one of my big things. It's like, dude, I was a fuck. Like I was bad about not wanting to do shit I was supposed to do. Super undisciplined to the point where I was getting disciplined at being undisciplined. Figuring out how to. My good friend Jonathan is really good at the wiggle.
Slide.
He's got a nasty wiggle. And then he'll be like, dog, you see that wiggle? And I'm like,
oh, no obligations for me.
Exactly.
No obligations for me. Watch me pawn this
Can
off.
I get my friend out of all his obligations? Oh, we just slid out of there, the both of us. And like, I would just be like,
nobody working today.
It would be like, that was kind of the dynamic of our relationship. But I would be like, yo, it's not okay. Like, how are we going to be? Like, he wanted to be an actor, which like I fucked with, because part of the thing about selecting an art as the thing that you're willing to do is you're going to have to suffer. And like part of the way
starving artist is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Starving / struggling / figuring it out artist is real.
I told this kid and his mom that. He was like 25 and his mom was 50 and they were celebrating together. I was like, man, starving artist is like, you're going to have to suffer, because he was also a musician.
Oh, okay.
And then he was like, well, you know, I'm like eating A5, so not really like suffering in that sense.
Meaning Wagyu Papa.
And then I was like, well, you're going to have to starve socially for sure. And I watched him be like, I do starve socially. He's so right. And his mom was like,
what do you mean by that?
His mom was like, he's right. And then he was just like, I don't even know how to describe how right he was. But like, what I meant is like, it's not an attractive thing to like be a starving artist. Like, it's not someone that you, like, it's just hard
it's hard to be the person always telling your friends, like, I'm doing, or like to still be doing the art thing and like to have nothing, no substantial evidence to back the decision.
Yep, nothing to really show for it. Like, people tend to kind of think you're like, as time goes on, the creeping thought of you're making a bad choice will become larger and larger in your friends' minds. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna like, and I don't think you're a preferable selection for like a mate, because if they're gonna plan to like have a family with you, you do not have job security at all. Like, you do not have money flow coming in 20 years at all. You're an unsuccessful artist with no backup plan.
No 401k.
No 401k.
No Roth.
There's no fucking retirement plan there. It makes you an unattractive partner. And then it also, you might be fucking dumb. Like,
you might be crazy.
And I think that, like, people, I just know that, like, we're not super accepted in society when we're struggling. But then as soon as we cross the threshold, super accepted by society.
Praised,
but thank God you did
lifted.
that.
Yes. Your work.
But it's tough to be like, yeah, I'm in a band and I play guitar and I work at Amazon. You know, do you want to get pizza and a marg? No bad bitch is going out with that guy. I'm sorry. Like, it just doesn't happen. I've ran the simulation. I have friends. Like, I'm sorry.
In a world far, far away, maybe.
No, this is America. Like, it doesn't, I mean, like, I would love to say it happens. And, like, I'm sure that's the beautiful thing about Ryan Casey. Like, I think two people can grow together and they both, like, become, like, beautiful in each other's growth wake and pattern. And that's a cool and great thing. Like, I think that's part of the reward you get for committing to that blind love feeling. Of like, I love this person. I'll fucking marry them. I don't even care. Us versus the world, baby. Let's go. Like, when you're right about that feeling and you take your leap of faith on that feeling, like, I think you're rewarded by getting to enjoy that together. But then, like, as the world goes on and so the process of mate selection becomes more like thoughtful for like both partners as they get older, it's really hard to want to actually like marry the guy that plays the drums in the band on Friday nights at the local bar you go to.
Yeah.
That shit's tough.
For sure.
Unless his parents are loaded, then maybe you're okay, but...
I'd be all right. Everyone has a different situation. Different circumstances, different social networking, different environment. So who knows? That guy could have, his mom could have connections and he could be just like straight up like good, or like at least on like a good path. But maybe, I don't know, like, do you want to be an artist for real? Like, choose something. Like, choose it. Like, maybe he went to school for it or whatever. Or, like, I don't know. Because you can go to school for sound engineering and musical related, or I guess artistically related.
Yeah, it might help.
Options.
Especially if you're a producer. Mm-hmm. It might be nice to be taught how to use your programs.
Yeah, go to art school, learn how to do different mediums of art expression, sculpting, painting, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Learn from people. But, I forgot where I was going with that. But I guess, did you consciously choose that, though, even? Because, like, I went to college, and I got a degree in something, but, like, at that point, I still would consider myself to be someone who was not consciously making decisions. You know?
That's true, too. You could ask that kid, like, yeah, he might be under the chains of influence, and that might not have been his conscious decision.
Yeah.
He's like, well, yeah, who knows why that happens? Like,
yeah, like maybe he's an artist and like he has like all these nice things and like won't experience like the starving artist portion of it. But it's like you were never meant to be like you're supposed to be an architect, or you're supposed to be whatever. You're supposed to be whatever.
Yeah, true, super true.
Or like you would be great at running you would love and be great at running a restaurant or running a bakery or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever the hell you would like to do, or you'd be like you're a crazy inventor, like a inventor. Engineer, some kind of guy making some sort of crazy ShamWow or some shit. Make the next slap chop.
Yeah, for sure. Who knows what that guy's
Who knows what you're supposed to do?
I took him at his
choose something.
I took him at his face value. He's like, I play guitar. I'm like a local, I be going hard and shit. I was like,
kid.
Word, okay, that's what's up, dog. Yeah, you know what that's like. You know what I'm saying?
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
Do you know what that's like?
Yeah. He's like, starving artist shit, And he was like, I don't really starve. And I was like, well, I'm sure you starve socially. He's like, kind of, yeah. And I was like, it's like that, bro. But just like get to the other side. Like, become the person that you're supposed to be. And then like everything will be on the other side of that.
Just keep going.
Because, that's what we're talking about is even if it's like a desert that you have to walk through on the path of doing your thing before you cross that threshold and you're lifted up. It's like, good. Like, getting across is the important thing anyways. Like, just delay that gratification because it's probably the proper thing to do anyways. Yeah.
I think, the desert, I guess embrace it. Embrace it is like what I want to lean towards expressing right now. It's like, if I guess with us maybe giving the preface of like, you're going to go through some deserts in life. And maybe like the deserts are the prerequisite to reach the oasis. Like there is no oasis without the desert. So you have to go through it. So maybe like having that nugget in your mind already going forward might be able to make you lean into whatever desert you find yourself in. Or, but maybe if you're just like beat booping and not aware that like, or maybe you don't have the hope that the oasis is even there. You're just like walking blindly through the desert with no hope. That sucks.
I think that's probably what a lot of people, the disconnected is.
But lean into it. I say lean into the desert, and you're leaning into it will put you in the right path on the desert closer or faster to the oasis than if you were to not lean into it.
Yeah.
It might make you even more lost in the desert.
Oh, that's a scary thought. I always visual Better Call Saul when they're lost in the desert.
Ooh.
They look like they're having a rough time.
That shit looks rough, bro.
Yeah, but I think about The Alchemist too whenever I think about the desert. And like reaching the city. The city exists. And in John Wick, there's a desert, and that's how you meet the originator, the guy that sits above the table. You're like, go to the edge of the desert, and go further. Go till you can't go anymore, and then go further. And then if he wants to see you, he'll see you. And then he literally walks until he passes out. He like dies, and then like the people come out like they were watching him the whole time, and he never saw him. And then they just like pick him up and take him to the camp, and then he wakes up and he's like, thank God.
That's cool.
That's tight, right?
That's cool. John Wick?
Yeah, that's in John Wick 3.
Okay, I don't remember that. Yeah, I think I've only seen the first two.
Yeah.
Or I have any really remembrance of the first two. But yeah, the deserts are real. But if you can lean into it, I think you're leaning into it will shorten the time.
Yes.
That you need to be there.
Yes.
Or make it easier. Or maybe you're just like, embrace the idea of like, give a fuck, man. My feet are calloused like a bitch right now, but I don't give a shit, bro.
That's what I wanted to say is I'm at that place where like the desert becomes the oasis. Like I love walking in the desert. Mm-hmm. Like getting to an oasis would almost make me sad because I'd be like, oh, my calluses are going to go away soon. Mm-hmm. Like I'm putting my feet up now. I'm going to get soft. But like there's a part of me that's just like, Jesus, walk. And I'm just like, sand's blowing in my face. And like, you just find the zen in like in the war, you know? Because you need to leverage the fact that you're walking in the desert against the fact that you have a goal. It's like every day I walk in the desert and feel this pain drags me closer to my goal. Like all you could do is starve me in the desert. That's all you could do. So if I can proactively embrace it like you're talking about, then I take away your ability because I want my goal more than I care about suffering. And then you can sit there and be like freaking out in the desert, having a great time. Yeah. Because it's like, I'm going to my goal.
Yeah. It's like, I enjoy the hot sand. I love when I step on a fresh pile of hot sand, baby.
I love how my chaps lips feels. Can't even talk right.
Yeah, but I think that attitude is necessary because the alternative won't lead you out of the desert any faster. And it more than likely will make you get further lost in the desert.
Oh, yeah. I can definitely see my own pitfalls. Like if I didn't work out my own bullshit while I was being alone, I could have developed more bullshit.
Yeah, or like built up resentment towards women or towards the idea of partnership or relationships in general. It's like, man, fuck that.
I feel that, or not right now, but I have felt that where I'm just like, yo, women are bad selectors. Like I don't give a fuck. I don't respect your selections. Like,
idiots. Idiots. Stupid idiots.
That's whenever you have to realize, like, no, dog, like, stop externalizing your problems. Like, internalize, like, what's going on here? What's going on within myself here? Mm-hmm. And then a lot of it's just, like, perception. It's not even, like, I think I was upset that a girl that had a boyfriend at the time that I didn't know about didn't want to, like, date me. She was like, like, I don't, like, no, if you're going to be weird about it, then, like, we can't hang out. I was like, weird about it? What are you talking about? Like, she's like, yeah, I just want to, like, hook up, get drunk with you a lot.
Slide.
Yeah, isn't that like cool?
Slide.
And then I'm all like, fucking women suck, man. It's like, oh, that's so fucking just like, nothing was wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? It should have just been like, oh, you're weird. Or like,
you're tripping.
Yeah, not the situation for me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like, but yeah, there's an issue with like, you have to work through the bullshit. And then finally I was like, oh yeah, that's like a toxic woman. I don't want to be with women like that.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then it's easy. Like, there's no pain involved in that.
There's no oasis there. There's no oasis towards that, pursuing that in this desert. If I stop here, it's like, there's no real water here. All this water's going to do is make me thirsty and just stop my progress towards the real oasis, bitch.
Seriously. Yeah. And then, you create more messes. Like, you hurt in my mind, one thing is when you get entangled in some bad relationships that you know you shouldn't be in while you're in the desert, you create a mess for your future partner to have to clean up. And then if she's a good partner, she probably shouldn't want to. She'd probably be like, I don't really want to live in a mess. Mm. And then, that's not women being stupid. That's like women being smart.
Yeah.
Actually, I appreciate you for thinking like that.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Make it through the deserts, bro. Make it through the deserts.
We're getting through.
We're all getting through.
Dude, we got to get off this pod.
Whatever desert you're in, just keep going.
I want to fucking just pause this and then record another one. Like right now. I'm in the zone, dog.
Keep going. We're probably going to try to wrap it up in the next like 5 or so minutes. But yeah, man. The deserts, we keep on walking through. Relationships, you're going to find your mate's out there. I remember because as he had mentioned, I'm now in a great relationship. I wasn't before, and I went through my little desert phase, and all this stuff is, I think we're like firsthand, like some of the stuff we're kind of like hypothesizing and like just exploring some thoughts, but some of the stuff we're talking about from like firsthand experience.
Yeah.
First person POV life experience, a lot of thinking. A lot of analyzing and breaking down the film with each other and ourselves over the course of this time.
Yes.
So I think the desert is kind of a prerequisite and like an important part of life. So everyone needs to embrace it. But also with you, I think that, like I'm excited for you because I remember not having the relationship. And then also this same thought occurring to me that like that partner's out there. Like for whoever's listening to this as well. It's like, if you don't have that partner, but you do want that relationship, it's like that person is out there right now as well. And like, it's just only a matter of time. Just keep going. and your paths will cross. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. For real, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
That's what a good friend sounds like. If you ever need to fucking wonder, clip that. That's what a good friend. Thank you, dog. I feel you. Thank you. That's the other thing is that I'm also super excited to.
Don't settle for shit.
That's the thing.
I ain't settling for shit,
dog.
Oh.
No more prosecco, wine, and crystal. Where's it at? No, but I'm excited to be. I don't think I've ever been in a good relationship. Not like to shit on my exes, but like I just don't. I don't think I'm not settling for anything now. So I know when I do get into a relationship, it's gonna be like it's super enjoyable. I think because it's gonna be a good relationship. And like, yeah, I'm happy to wait for that. I'm like super happy to wait for that.
Yes.
That's going to be tight.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm not really tripping on it. I don't want to sound like a bitch.
I think, but relationships are one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, my dad says the hardest thing in the workplace is relationships.
Being alone is also kind of part of being in a relationship. Where like if you're doing it right.
Yes. That's what I've been trying to tell people. Right now, I'm trying to tell you guys. The relationship with yourself is so important.
That's first. That needs to come first.
I can't even like get into details.
Take care of you. You need to fall in love with taking care of you.
Yes.
And then also fall in love with somebody who's also taking care of themselves. And then you can take care of each other.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Right.
I've never been one of those. Oh. It just sounds great.
I want to soak in those waters.
Jeez, that sounds wonderful. Because I just learned how to take care of myself. So it's like, you're telling me someone else could know how to do that too?
For themselves.
And then we could enjoy that together?
And then for you.
And delay our gratification on the same side of the fence? For all the things we can want? It's like, that's fire, dude.
Fire.
That's why the song Search and Rescue is so good.
Yeah, I'm sure people have heard that song. Drizzy just came out with a new song probably within the last week or two. Search and Rescue. I think he's the idea of, he's alluding to that idea of like, of what I just was talking about.
100%. 100%.
Of like, that person's out there for you right now. And like, it's come and rescue me. Hey, take me at the club. Take me at the trap. Yeah.
Take me on the mark. Yeah. Off the map.
I think he's expressing that same idea.
Yeah, I think so too, especially because a lot of times we hear bars, and I think that like I hear it one way initially, but then like I think about more and more just like the feeling that he's describing, and sometimes I think like, oh, I think you kind of meant it more like this. For instance, in that song when he's like, man, I had it on the tip of my tongue, but then we sang the hook, and then it went away from me.
A part of the song that he's talking about?
Yeah.
Somebody patient with me.
Yeah. Someone looking for someone to be patient with me. Someone to make money would not take it from me. Yeah. And I think when he says like, I used to think he meant like, I need someone to be patient with me because like I'm annoying. But like, I don't think he means that. I think he means like, I need someone to be patient like with me.
Both of us are being patient.
Together.
Yeah.
And then someone to make money with, not take it from me.
I need someone to be patient with me. I don't need someone that's like antsy and trying to, it's like, no, we need to chill right now. Like, we're good. We need to be settled and calm and still right here.
That's beautiful shit, Drizzy. That's what the world needs to hear, Drizzy.
Come on, Drizzo.
That's what I needed to hear, Drizzy. Thank you. It was perfect. I was like, that's what I need to.
Yes.
And then, it's awesome because, like, the hook just yelling, come and rescue me. It's nice because it's like, you're talking to someone that isn't any of these people. And that's fun to do. It's like, it's fun to talk to this person, this ideal partner that
ideal person.
Yeah, and just to sing to them, even though you don't know who they are. They don't really exist.
Yeah.
Like, that feels so good.
Yeah.
Because you're taking away the energy from all the people around you. You're like, oh, save me from this shit. Like, I know this isn't what I want. What I want is out there.
Yes.
And then like
in the unknown.
And even though you're not actually verbalizing or saying any of those things, like when you're singing that hook, like that's what you feel. You're calling out to someone that's not in the scene.
Yeah.
And that frees you from your energy ties to the people in the scene. And that feels fucking great.
Yeah, trying to open yourself to the unknown. It's like, open up and walk in. Allow me to walk to you.
I don't want my pet bone, but darling, mommy.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's perfect, dog. It's like, that song's great. And I think that's why that song's going to do so many numbers. It's like, we love great art. Like, it's hard for someone to write something that allows you to express something that can, like, free your spirit up. That's, like, a difficult task.
Yeah.
But when it's done well...
We pay millions of dollars for it. people can pay millions of dollars to do that.
Platinum records.
Platinums. Billions of streams.
That's so fire, man.
Yes. Yeah. I think we hit the nail on the head with that. I love how we anchored, or like how we ended with that.
That was beautiful. Now everybody can I go listen to that song.
Listen to that song, and yeah,
that's the perspective.
We're kind of talking about some of that stuff and the same ideas that he's talking about. Alluding to.
That's beautiful.
Hell yes, bro. Well, any parting words for the folks?
I don't want to go home. You guys want another shot? I'll buy this round. That's how I feel right now. But no, I mean, I love you guys.
Love y'all, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna be the Gone video is already on YouTube. We're gonna drop the New Era video probably tomorrow.
Nice.
More clips and more sheesh dropping. The 3-pack is coming out sounding dope. Might have a couple teasers for that or something. I don't know. We need to develop something with that.
3 new songs.
Everything's coming out.
They sound great.
Stay tuned. Stay in. Stay up. Stay winning. Stay blessed.
I think if you're listening right now, you're all in on us.
You're all in.
I think you're all in on us.
I love you for being all in.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're gonna do it.
We're balling for you, bro.
For real.
Ladies. Lady bros.
All of the family. Love you guys.
Love y'all. Peace.
Rolling through the city to the light show. Really ain't no telling where we might